Well, g'day. What we're doing today is planting some bare root trees, some Lombardy poplars, which are an old favourite of mine. Good fodder tree and really good windbreak, tall columnar form. To start with though, I'm just getting a bit of molasses. This is just a bit of farm grade animal feed molasses, or animal grade molasses. And this is to stimulate mycorrhizal fungi development around the root system. What we're going to do is just mix this with a bit of warm rainwater, and that'll then we'll just mix that up and dip the roots in. So I'll just mix it in a bit of the water there, and actually fairly hot water in this case, and just using the sort of biodynamic method of using a stick, bringing it around into a vortex and then crashing causing the chaos. So just doing that a few times. Putting that into a rectangular bucket here, and then I'll mix in a bit of cooler water, so it's not too hot. Should be just body temperature. Next step will be to get the bare roots and just dip them in. You can see we've got a nice area prepared here for the bare roots. We had that prepared earlier. It's an old garden bed, and that's a really good idea to have that sort of area prepared well in advance of you actually taking delivery of the plants, because inevitably you're not going to be planting all of these trees on the day that you take delivery. So really good idea. It just helps to acclimatise the plants as well. These trees were grown in an area that was considerably warmer than what we have here at Taranaki, which is very cool temperate. Just got some old burlap bags and with this bather cattle trough, and I'm just soaking those. Now, give them a good soak, and that will help to stop the evaporation around the root system of the bare roots on the back of the truck, as you'll see. It's good also to keep the UV light off the roots. That's even more important, especially at this stage. We want to minimise the amount of light access to root systems. So that just stops the evaporation and that. And because it's going to take us pretty well all day to plant these trees, a good 6 hours or so I think we spent on planting some 60 trees. It's time-consuming work planting larger trees, even with the good ground preparation. Got all our tools there, everything's all set up, the buckets of compost, which we're just getting here. We used about 120 litres of compost for this planting. I don't use very much. I just don't use a couple of handfuls in the bottom of the hole and then a couple of handfuls on top of the hole when we plant the tree. And that's just to, again, feed the soil, not the plant. We've already done enough work in terms of fallowing that landscape to do the plant feeding bit, and there's enough residual mineralisation in there to do that from our past soil amendment work. This is just to stimulate some of the soil processes a bit further around the roots of the trees and the soil organisms. So a lot of this is stimulatory work and just aiding in that process of establishment, which is quite critical. You can see the mulch in the back. That's all about 1.5 cubic metres of material that we got from the day before. Right here you can see I'm just using a long-handled fork, just using 2 forks wide and just going around in a square about 15-18 inches square, and about 1.5 root systems deep. So in this case about 12 inches deep, a foot deep. And what we do then is just give the bottom of the hole a bit of a tickle and just make sure it's nice and loose. But it is, because we're going right over the centre rip line of where we prepared the ground before with the keyline plough. Coming along with my wheelbarrow, just got the pot there with a couple of, with the compost, just put a couple of those in. You can see as well that I've got the the Aggie pipe or drainage pipe there. That's just as an establishment measure. Again, we'll use these over and over and over again over successive plantings, just through the establishment period. So we'll be able to water these through the first summer, maybe once a month, and then reduce that watering and or reduce the frequency of that watering, and that'll get these trees through their first summer. It does get to about 40 degrees or 100 degrees Fahrenheit in this area during summer. So just putting the soil back over. Then I'm preparing, doing a bit of micro earthworks in what I call a boomerang, and the boomerang is built on the lower side of the planting, being on a slope, and that's just to capture any runoff and keep it. You can see as well I'm just pushing the soil around the root so as planted, and that will just take out any air pockets that we've got. So next step is to put another couple of handfuls of compost there, again to just feed that soil and to give a little bit of plant food. And this is nice compost that is prepared on farm, all well in advance. And then on we go with the mulch. The mulch is Acacia mearnsii prunings. Some of you might be familiar with Masanobu Fukuoka, his Marishma. Well, we've got this tree as a farm forestry tree for furniture timber, and we took these prunings yesterday, which we then processed through the hammer mill and chipper. We used on the 50 or 60 trees that we planted. We used about half a cubic metre of mulch. It's really ideal to cover that compost. You don't want compost either exposed to UV or to let it dry out. That just stops it from doing so. It's a really good mix of chips and leaves, so good carbon-nitrogen ratio. It'll break down really nicely. In fact, we made a compost out of it recently, and it heated up straight away to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees centigrade. Just using a cable tie. Don't like these at all, but we had some left over from a previous job, so we're just using it up. It's not a bad product, but it's too hard, and we tend to get rubbing on the tree. Just checking it over. The stake that we've used there is a 1.5 metre or 5 foot by inch or 25 mil by 25 mil stake. This is not ideal. I've got a tube of Tagasasti, Cytisus parmensis, and I'm just planting those in by hand. Normally I would put these in either mechanically using a planting machine or using a potapukki. I'm just putting them in to show you what this planting will look like. We've got 3 metres between trees, and there's Lombardy poplar 3 metres, Tagasasti 3 metres, Tagasasti 3 metres, Lombardy poplar, and repeat. These tree guards are left over. You just see I'm putting the soil around the bottom there. That's so that when we water these trees in the future, the water won't run out the bottom, and also so it gives it a bit more stability in the wind. These tree guards are now 10 years old. They're made of recycled plastic and with some UV protection built into that plastic mix. And they work really, really well as a little mini greenhouse for establishment and stop the rabbits on the property from ring barking or eating these very, very palatable tree lucerne or Tagasasti. So yeah, up for another day today. Today we're planting mulberries and honey locusts and the rest of this row. I think we've got about 10 more Lombard poplars to put in this first row. Then we've got a few other trees to go. We've got some more poplars and some willows down on the creek in the bottom there to put in, which we should get started on today as well. So it's all looking really good and looking forward to getting the rest of it done.